the motherfucking loud spot. That's right, you're listening to the almighty Hot Zone, doing the intro to the Loud Spot podcast. You're goddamn right, we're doing intros for podcasts now. And if you don't like it, you can suck the entire circumference of my Wayne Tretzky with the squeals and the drops. P1E goes on till it pops. Cannonball, don't trust a cop. Johnny Spotswood just don't know when to stop. Yeah, and if you don't like it, you better take your ass up to the snooty box, cause this is the Loud Spot. Okay, see you later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Loud. I'm your host, Sebastian, right out of Oklahoma City. We got a kind of a packed house today. We got Ava Gores joining us, and then for the first time on the show, we have the Southern Flame, Dawn McIntyre, and I hope you ladies are doing well. And then we got Eric from Traverse the Abyss, and I almost said Traverse instead of Traverse.
We hear it all the time. It's one or the other, so it's cool.
So I wouldn't have been the only one to say that then.
No, not at all.
What does, and you know, I'm kind of stupid, so what does Traverse the Abyss? Just a little bit.
She just called you straight out.
Honestly, I know.
Yeah, if you had to guess. Based on, like, let's take it as like an English class. Like if it was in the context of the sentence, what would your guess be?
Okay, can you use it in a sentence? Is Traverse the Abyss kind of a sentence in its own? Is that like its own sentence?
In a phrasing, yes, I guess. Traversing's like passing through, traveling. So traveling through the abyss.
Through the abyss, through the openness,
life,
right? The abyss
which is life. Yeah, the darkness. Yeah.
Does it stare back at you?
Yep. Which we take in the interpretation of like traversing the abyss is finding like the light in the darkness of life.
That's cool, like our, man. At least it has meaning. You know, at least it has meaning. Some bands didn't have no meanings. Like every time I'm in a band, there's never a meaning to the names that I pick. But it looks like you guys have a meaning to it, which is pretty awesome, man.
Even better because it came from video games. The original name came from the video game Dark Souls. Our guitar player was playing that. In the beginning, there's I think it's in the beginning. Sadly, I'm not, as much as I play games, I'm not as familiar with Souls games. But one of the boss battles instead traverse the abyss, and he called me and he just said that, and I was like, cool.
Yeah.
What's that?
Dark Souls is fucking hard.
He's like, it's from the game I'm playing, but I don't know. They're just really vibing with it right now, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, cool. Sounds dark. I'm rolling with it.
The big kid in me is picturing the bright lights in the movie Finding Nemo.
Yeah, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Oh, yeah. Just keep swimming. That's funny. So how long you guys been playing for?
Oh, man. We have been a band since 2016. We debuted October 1st of that year. But me, Iron Mike, and our bass player, Beanock, we played in a band prior called Without a Martyr, and that was almost like 10 years ago. I'm starting to get old into this stuff now. But, yeah, the three of us and a couple others, we played in the first band, and then kind of first band stuff fell apart. Then me and Iron Mike joined a band called Threat Point for a while, and we got kind of the ropes on touring and like little road tips and tricks and stuff like that, and it was cool, but it wasn't like our band, and we're like, we missed like that. Even though the first band sucked, it was still like that was our band. Like no one could take credit away, and we were like, let's do our own thing.
So what have you found the most? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What have you found the most challenging in adjusting to all that?
How other people operate and corresponding to how other people operate is the hardest. Because you might have like your mindset of like, okay, this is my way of doing things. And then you get in and they go, yeah, nah, this is how I do it. And it's like, you got to accommodate more to their setting, being like a newer guy in there, which like, I think that's just in general, even like at work and stuff like that, you know, just in life, it's getting used to that. How does this person operate? Do we click, or are we going to like bump with each other?
This is
Right.
why me and Raph stick to just having 2 people in our band so that we don't have to deal with this.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I have it's like multiple personalities going on, so maybe I'll just do a one-man group and each side of myself could play something different.
Yeah.
Has Traverse the Abyss been on tour already? Since you guys started playing, have you guys done like a United States tour, local tours, any shows like that?
Mostly just weekend, like little weekend warrior runs in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. We're from Scranton, PA, actually here.
The
Represent.
Office.
Unintentionally. Here's my Michael Scott as the Godfather mug. Actually, completely unintentional. I just grabbed a mug and
That's cool, man.
So it's like our location. We're 2 hours out from New York. We're 2 hours out from Jersey. We're 2 hours out from like Central PA, like Harrisburg and Maryland, West Virginia. Like we have a nice little Northeast niche. So a lot of times we're just until we could get on something feasible to do something lengthy, even like a week-long runs. A lot of times we just do Friday, Saturday, Sunday runs because you could just wake up the next day, drive like 2-3 hours where you're still unknown because we're still such a growing band, you know what I mean? So it's like you could play in outside Philadelphia and then go down into Jersey and still have people like, yo, I don't know who you are.
Dude, what's cool about living, I said this, I forgot who I was talking to on the show one time, but they were from the East Coast also. And I'm telling you, like, East Coast bands really have it made because if you want to talk about how many states you've played in, if you live in the Northeast, you can easily go, 3 or 4 or 5 states because the states are all super small next to each other.
Yeah.
But like if you live in the middle of freaking
Texas,
yeah, exactly.
Iowa, Oklahoma, like that's what I reference too is like we're not and like take advantage of that because we're not in the middle of the United States where it's like, well, I can't see the next thing.
right?
That's way
Drive for
far
6
away.
hours, still in
Yeah,
Texas.
you can build a resume that way much easier. Like, how many states have you been in? Fucking 5, bro. What's up?
And even though they're 2-3 hour drives, even though they're only 2-3 hour drives, it looks nice and it's like, damn, they're playing, and it's like, yeah, we ain't traveling far though.
Yeah. Ava has to drive 3 hours and she's still in Texas.
Yeah.
Probably in any direction.
I drive 5 hours and I'm still in Texas.
I just saw another band talking about that. They're I think it was Upon a Burning Body was doing a run, and all the dates were in Texas, and it's like people are commenting, it's like it's crazy. Like this whole run is spread out, but it's still just within that state.
Yeah, man.
It's nuts.
Did you guys get a lot of recognition? And by the way, we're not playing it tonight, but we talked a little before the show started, and that song you have, Faucet Mouth, is such a cool song, and the music video for it is also really badass. We're not playing it tonight, but anyone that watches this show needs to go watch Faucet Mouth on YouTube because the whole concept of it is you guys are changing outfits from like gangster type clothes to like country type. And I thought when I first saw the beginning of the video, because we did a reaction video to it a few months back, I think, and I thought it was going to be kind of a comedic song. And honestly, it still could be. I couldn't really hear what you were saying because you're screaming the whole time. But
I usually sing like a beautiful angel. I was a little hoarse that recording session. Sorry.
No, but it's such a fantastic music video. And how did you guys come up with the concept to do that?
That was in the studio. We were spitballing because like all of our prior videos were just like clips from the live shows and just kind of us hanging out and everything. And we talked about doing like an actual video, and it was like our guitar player was bent on doing a video where we were playing little kid instruments, like first act Hello Kitty drums and acoustic guitars and stuff. And our drummer just got a new drum set at the time, so he's like, nah. He's like, I want to play live, like actually have parts. And somehow it just spitballed. Originally it was just going to be a rap video, and it was like it's like a 4-minute long song. So it's like, can we really be one trick pony for that long and be entertaining? And it was like, well, why don't we just kind of well-round it, like, because also everyone in Scranton is either like rock or metal, gangster, or full-blown country. So it's kind of showing off the Acacia Strain all in one mix. But yeah, it just kind of bounced around. It was like, all right, well, no, we'll do the country part. And then it was like, oh, what if we do metal? And it was like, well, no, what if we did like dress like the 80s? What if we did this? And it was like, what if we just do all of it? Like
all of it. Weren't you guys in a Hummer? Was it a Hummer or like a Jeep or?
Yeah, that was our guitar player, Jamie. That was his brother's. Actually, almost the whole beginning of that video was filmed right in that one spot.
Oh,
we
really?
did the Hummer scene, and then right in the morning, and then as the sun was coming up, he was taking it off-roading. So we went into his back of his house and we used the pool.
Yeah, I remember
and that was like where we did the pool scene. And the joys of being in the country type area, because across the street was the bales of hay where we did the country shot. So it was like all in one day. And then we ended up just landing in a warehouse to use the walls to do the last parts, the metal scene, and then they just chop saladed it all up.
And this is totally not band related at all, but I'm just curious because I was just watching Living Amish or something like that. Is there a lot of Amish out there in Pennsylvania, like in the country land? Isn't it like Amish country?
In like I would say like towards like Lancaster and stuff like that, Reading, like going like way southern PA, they start getting a little old school. We'll say.
Is that near you? I mean, I guess everywhere in Pennsylvania is kind of near you, right? It's not a big state.
Yeah.
What is it?
To get across like the state line for us, like from us to like Pittsburgh is like 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, that's a drive.
So it's not too bad. But I would say probably like close. 2.5 hours. Things start getting a little they start talking a little slower down that way.
Yeah. I guess they're not watching your music videos though because they don't have electricity. So
yeah, no.
Did you guys have a producer? Oh, go ahead, Don.
I'm sorry. So, what is your favorite type of venues to play? Do you like the more intimate crowds? Do you like larger venues? What is your preference and why?
You can't ask better questions than I do. That's just not fair.
Honestly, as long as people, it's such a push pull because you'd think like right on paper it's like large crowd, but if you have a bunch of people in the room who are sitting there with their back turned to you drinking their beers and all you get is like a nod and maybe like they'll raise their glass, then that's kind of like fuck. Versus like we did a show, I think it was last weekend, and it wasn't like a packed show, but you were able to like conversate and get to know people, like make more of an impression with people, get more of a bond. And like even a couple weeks ago we did another one. It was at a brewery and it was the same deal. It wasn't like a heavily packed show, but after you get to talk, you do your shit, and then after you talk to everyone, if every one of those persons is going over and buying something from the merch table, then you know what I mean, the chances of them coming to see you again is likely.
Right.
So
Right. I completely agree with that. Like just smaller venues just seem more intimate, and I like that a whole lot.
Now when we did when we shared the stage with Motionless and White back in 2018, that was a different story. We had a very large crowd who were enjoying us quite a lot. So that was the cream of the crop show wise for us. Like that year we played with Whitechapel and Chelsea Grin. That was our first sold out show. We were the opener, and we were like, all right, that's like the highlight show of this year. We're not going to do anything even better. And then like a week later, our buddy's like, yo, Motionless is coming to Scranton. And it's like, wait, what? Like, who's Scranton? And that was only us and one other local band. So like, we played right before them.
Band, and you had decided to mention it tonight. So that's fantastic. You just made my night.
I'm a big fan of them too. I actually a lot of the like East Coast Pennsylvania bands, bro, we put it down. Motionless and White's from Scranton.
Yeah.